Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Morganon. Bid you all welcome back to Gothic 2. Apologies if I seem a little exhausted today. That's because I am very exhausted today. But we press on. So last episode we got back to Skirmishes, and shit has hit the fan. Seekers, black mages of Beliar are all over the place. But we got the authorization from Lord Hagen, permitting us to receive the Eye of Innos, so let's make haste with that.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. I have asked Karas to look into this matter. He will certainly win some further insight soon, which can make us see clearer. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, we must offer resistance or we shall all be doomed.
Well, I didn't offer enough resistance because I am possessed.
Heal me, master, for I am possessed.
So be it. Take this potion. It will relieve you of your nightmares. May the mercy of Innos be your salvation. Act on his behalf and beware of the evil eye of the enemy.
So, I'll show you what happens if you don't drink this, if you are possessed. But, very nice to be a member of the Fire Mages, because every time this happens, you can get these potions for free. Otherwise, I think he charges a very generous donation to the Church of Innos. I think it's something like 200 gold, possibly even 500, I don't remember. You can't ask for twice, though.
But you had your healing potion. Don't come back to me until you really need my help.
I have come to take the Eye of Innos.
I see that you have received an authorization from Lord Hagen himself to bear the Eye of Innos. I am afraid that I have to disappoint you. We have fallen victim to a treacherous plot of the enemy.
What?
The Eye of Innos has been violently taken from these sacred walls.
Who could be so impudent, master?
Evil is cunning, and usually works in secret. Only rarely do you see it emerge to pursue its evil machinations in broad daylight. But these days, it's a different matter. The enemy now shows himself openly in the street, in every home and every public square. This can only mean that he no longer fears any adversary and is not going to shrink back from anything. One of our most faithful followers, a candidate for the high robe of the Magicians of Fire, has changed his allegiance unexpectedly, and in an alarmingly evil manner. Pedro. The enemy has taken possession of him, thus inflicting a terrible defeat upon us. Pedro has forced his way into our most sacred halls and stolen the eye. I fear that he simply spent too much time by himself, outside of the gates, and thus beyond the protective walls of the monastery, exposed to all lurking dangers.
Damn, I didn't give him his sausage, so he stole my amulet.
Where did the thief flee to?
Pedro knocked down some of the other novices who tried to stop him and disappeared into the morning mist. Many novices have gone after him to bring the eye back to its place unharmed. If you want to catch up with them, you need to hurry before Pedro disappears out of your reach.
Oh geez, we shouldn't have pussyfooted about then.
I've found a strange almanac.
Really? What kind of an almanac is that?
I'm not sure. I thought you would know what to do with it.
Forsooth. That is very disquieting. I am glad that you brought it to me. That was very wise. I assume that there are more of these. Go and find more of these books of damnation. I suspect that it is an instrument of the Seeker's power. They use it to control the lost souls of their victims. They obviously write down the names of those whom they are planning to possess in these books. Listen. I am giving you this magical letter. It will show you the names which are written in the books. Find those victims and bring me their books. I shall dispose of them. But first, you ought to show at least one of them to Karas. Maybe that will help him in his studies. Do not make the mistake to try and destroy them yourself. You are not ready to withstand their power. Do not get close to the Seekers, or they will take possession of you. If you still find yourself unable to resist their call, come back to me as fast as you can. Only here in the monastery can your soul be saved.
Is there no protection against their mental attacks?
That is possible. Karas could know something about that.
Well, you wanted us to bring one to Karas, but, you didn't feel so inclined to give that one back to us.
Parlan sent me. I want to increase my magic powers.
Well, you have learned a lot, and your strength has grown. From now on, you will learn from me.
Very good.
But...
Sorry, didn't mean that one.
I want to increase my magic powers.
So I think 15 or 3 points for 1 point of mana might be the cap for how much it how the scale works for learning points versus points of mana. But I could have sworn it could cost up to 4. I don't remember. It might even cost up to 5. But we're probably going to stop investing in mana before that happens. Now, it's easy to walk away now, but bear in mind, both of these other High Council members want to have a word with you.
One more little thing. Stay away from the roadside shrines. We have heard that some of them have been desecrated.
I can attest to that.
No one can say what effect they have now. It is not your task to solve this problem. The paladins will take care of this matter.
That is actually one of the unique quests you get as a militiaman. Which is hilarious, because you get it even when you haven't become a paladin yet, when it's supposed to be a paladin's job.
Not so fast. I have another task for you.
And that is...
Now that you belong to the Brotherhood of Fire, you must also fulfill the duties that come with being one of us. The Church is not only concerned with the affairs of magic, it is also the final authority in the administration of justice, as you know. The latest case brought before us opens up a bottomless abyss and must be dealt with once and for all.
Isn't that the militia's business?
The militia is responsible for the city alone. This affair has far-reaching consequences.
What's this about?
There is someone in the city who has sold falsified shares in the ore mines of the former penal colony. These papers are utterly worthless and of no importance, really. Still, they have the potential of stirring up trouble among the people, which we cannot afford to happen right now. The swindler is supposed to have approached all of the most reputable traders in the city and the country, and has evidently managed to sell his counterfeit mining shares to some of them. Find this evildoer and bring him before this panel. In such hard times, we must not suffer swindlers and plunderers. We must make an example of him in order to deter the rest of the mob.
There's a mob?
I'll try to clear up the matter.
One thing more. When you visit those traders, do not let them know that you are looking for mining shares. I think they probably want to sell them on, and certainly would no longer offer them to you if they realized that you are dealing with them on behalf of the church. Do you see?
Yes.
Then get to work. I wish you much success, brother.
This is actually a fairly profitable quest for a fire mage. But basically, a random assortment of traders all across the island have these false mining shares. And we need to clean them all up.
No one must violate the divine order.
That is a quest that is only available to fire mages. We're not going to take care of that all in this episode. That's kind of a long-winded one that we can clear up as we travel.
Hey, you!
Brother, you cannot lose any time. You must hunt down Pedro and return the Eye of Innos to the monastery. If the eye is not retrieved, we shall all be lost.
Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know too little to answer that. Ask me about it later.
Okay.
I want to learn the fourth circle of magic.
It is still not finished.
The fourth circle isn't finished? I learned it in the last game, though.
How are your studies coming along?
I've been able to find out something about the Seekers.
And what would that be?
They are, quite obviously, of demonic origin. But at least they are, or were, under the influence of demons. Be careful if you meet them.
What a novel concept.
I'm sorry, but I don't have enough material to make a more precise statement. But if you could manage to bring me something of theirs to examine.
What kind of material do you need?
What do I know? Any objects which especially belong to these beings.
Do you want me to bring you a corpse?
No. Are you crazy? The dangers posed by a demonic being within the walls of the monastery are much too great. It will be enough if you find some objects which are typical for these beings. The remains of the demonic aura which cling to them should offer enough clues for an examination.
The irony of that statement about demonic beings within the walls of the monastery shall become clear later.
Could the sleeper be involved in this?
I have heard the story of the sleeper, but from a distance I cannot say anything about it. There are countless demons, and any of them could be involved.
Beelzebub? Behemoth?
I shall see what I can do.
It would certainly be very useful. In the meantime, I will carry out my own personal research.
Okie dokie. So we've learned... What have we learned? We learned the one rune we really wanted out of the third circle, which is the ice block. So I'm not really planning on learning any others. You can learn summon skeletons if you want, but I think we get enough scrolls of that to be of use to us.
Hey, you! Any news?
Yes. Well, you've probably noticed those black-robed figures.
I've met them.
This brings us to the core of the matter. At the moment, we're observing a very rare constellation of stars. To be more exact, the sign of the ox currently stands in direct correlation with the sign of the warrior. I suppose you know what that means.
Of course.
Well, to be honest...
Yes, I see. Well, I cannot explain the entire background to you now, but it definitely signifies a great change, and I do not like change. Therefore, I want you to get me a book from town. It's called The Divine Power of the Stars. You may have to rummage around for it a bit, but I'm sure you'll find it.
What's in it for me?
What do you mean?
I'd like to know what you'll give me if I bring you the book.
Nothing. What were you expecting to get? If you have time to run an errand in town for me, it's even your duty to help me.
Well, that's bull. Oh, okay. Does that just not accept the quest? Huh. That's not good. Pretty sure that just locked me out of the quest, son of a bitch. I never knew that, because I usually, when I'm playing on my own, I don't usually select... Whatever, you have your talks first. I don't usually select the dismissive options when I'm playing on my own. And, it's very annoying in these games. Even as recently as Risen 2, I know Piranhabytes has had issues with those kind of quests, where just one sort of innocuous dialogue choice almost effectively cancels the quest. Very annoying.
Hey!
Brother, if...
I don't need your wares.
No.
How...
I'm... They be... I'm... What? No, it... The... It...
Ah, you ungrateful bastard,
Hey.
I'll take your stupid mission.
I've
This to be... Yeah, there.
It's astrology
I'll
nonsense.
see whether I can find it.
That's good. It frees up my time so I can follow some other trails as well. But don't take too much time. Time, I'm afraid, is what we have the least of.
Oh, I ain't got nothing but time. So just to demonstrate, when you're possessed by the Seekers, the only consequence is that you cannot rest. Huh. What? Eh? Ooh? I am no longer possessed, even though I did not drink the potion. Oh, I did drink the potion. Oh! Shoot, I loaded the wrong save. I loaded one of my test runs. Son of a bitch. How much does that weirden things? I had some housekeeping that I did. Screw it, let's load that one. See you in a moment, folks. Okay, so to demonstrate, get that same effect as when we are actively being possessed. When you try to sleep, it says, nightmares prevent your resting. And you see it, time advances, but we don't get any healing. I don't know why I did that. Considering if I'm gonna rest, I might as well get the healing. So drink 1 sip of this healing of possession. You feel released. That again is basically just a default essence of healing with an alternative auxiliary effect of healing your possession. Now, I highly advise when we go to this next area to have at least 1 speed potion and 1 fire rain spell. Both of those will be super useful. You can get more if you wish. I don't think we really need more. Just double checking we don't need anything else. I'm not gonna buy the mana essences because I'm low on cash, and I think we have enough for now. So, let's hit the road. We gotta find old Pedro. A damn sausage-eating bastard.
Do you know where Pedro is?
Do you think I'd be standing around here if I knew where the renegade was hiding? He must pay for his deeds. I hope we manage to get the eye back. You have to help us. Find him and bring back the Eye of Innos.
Well, you can help me too. Jesus. Everyone puts a responsibility on me. I actually find it the most amusing thing about this is the fact that when it comes to dealing with the Seekers, Pyrocard just sent a bunch of nameless novices after him. Like he's too afraid to spend the mages to retrieve the most powerful artifact that they have.
Have you seen a novice walk past?
That away?
Sure, he went that away. He jumped into the water off the bridge and
swam
like a shark was after him.
If you're headed for the monastery, you should talk to Milton. He'll surely be able to help you.
What do you think? Would they let me in there at all?
Perhaps, but the way you look, I can hardly imagine you in a novice's robe.
Enough of that nonsense. Novice's robe, indeed. It's the grub I'm after, or I'll be forced to eat the bark off the trees next.
I'm sure you can find some very nutritious worms in the ground. Interesting thing about his pointing gesture he did there. First of all, it seemed like they did the trigger on your dialogue rather than any of his, so that's why he immediately gestured when you select the dialogue option. But his gesture actually, there's only one other occasion where that gesture is used that I'm aware of, which is Gothic I. I think the guy's name is Dusty. No, it's not Dusty. It's one of the diggers. It's a digger who points out the hut you can stay in near the arena. In the old camp, where he actually will point out the hut, as long as he is facing in the direction of the hut. I think that's the one it is. But the interesting thing about that gesture is, it is directional. It kind of has like a home point that he's trying to point towards. So, he can only do that if he is facing, basically, within 180 degrees of whatever point in the water he's trying to gesture at. So if you have him facing the other way, he doesn't point at all. He'll just say, he went that way, and just shrug. Which is why he also follows up with a description of the fact that Pedro jumped into the water. So that at least, if that happens, you know where to go. Now, before we hit the shore here, I advise you kind of stay for a minute and keep your eyes peeled, because there is a seeker who walks along the road here. And the thing with seekers is I believe that they also work on like a time of day schedule for their patrol routes. So the fact that I'm not seeing him walk by makes me afeared, because he might actually come down the road a bit later. And there's a fellow standing here we're going to want to talk to. Not really essential, but it's an interesting encounter nonetheless.
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You're the second fellow to rush past here like he's been stung by blood flies.
Who was the other guy?
He looked like one of those brainy novices from the monastery back there. You can say what you like, but somehow those guys aren't quite right in the head. Just look at their silly clothes. I wouldn't want to be caught in the street at night in those.
I wouldn't either, but unfortunately I was.
Where did the other one go?
He ran up that way like lightning.
Be careful what you say. I used to be a novice in the monastery myself.
You poor swine. That certainly explains a few things. No offense. Be on your way. You're a busy man. Don't let me keep you.
Somebody should teach you some manners.
Now don't be offended. All right. If you absolutely want to fight, you can have one. So show me
I'll
what
have
you've
one.
got, novice.
I got some of this, and some of these. So I recommend, if you're gonna do this, hit him with 1 ice block and 3 ice lances. That actually does, once the ice block wears down, it literally leaves him with basically one hit point left. Or at least no more than 5. So once it wears off, just 1 good smack. So that happens to be just about the best combination. The handful of spells I got represent the best combination to beat this dude up. And he sure learned his lesson, I think. The problem is, I think I mentioned in the last episode, the ice block actually breaks the duel script. So it treats it as a hostile action initiated by you.
I'll have nothing to do with nasty thugs.
So you have to use the Oblivion if you want to talk to him afterwards.
Hey, you! What's your business here?
You ask a damn lot of questions for such a young whippersnapper. Name the goblin cave we crawled through together, and I'll tell you my secrets. Otherwise, mind your own business.
Oh, there's a sneaker up there. So let us hit the water. So when he says, name the goblin cave we crawled through together, for years I thought that was a reference or an Easter egg of some kind. And I kept wondering, oh man, if I play Gothic 1, I might know what he's talking about. But I would also scramble all across the world to try and find somebody to tell me the name of that goblin cave that he's talking about. And I think after some research, everyone ultimately concluded that it's kind of an elaborate way for him to just tell you to fuck off. Basically, like a kind of a what do you call it? Not like a red herring, but that kind of idea. So, we got that one seeker who passed us, but there's another one who posted himself on this rope bridge over here. And he is unavoidable. This is another one who will stop and talk to you, so as long as you keep your distance, you can call the first shot. And you notice a corpse on the ground. That's that highwayman I talked about way in the early episodes. And I think I had said that in Chapter 2, I was going to go try and find him here. And guess what? I never did that. Because I've definitely encountered him alive. But he seems to spawn in Chapter 2 or on some other conditions. In Chapter 3, he will definitely be here. And unfortunately, when he shows up here, he gets killed by the Seeker. So, to deal with the Seeker, there is a trick with spells that I have forgotten constantly, and I just remembered it when doing a test recording for this episode. So we hit him with this. Now any spell that just has the standard overhand animation as long as you button mash to cast a spell, you essentially get a rapid fire. It cancels the recovery animation, so you can just go ham. And that gives you plenty of time to waste a Seeker. So no threat there. Now, I actually determined, you'll see it when I do a video afterwards for the Militia run. And the Mercenary run. I decided I might do those in one episode. Which is going to sound a little bit weird, but because it covers so much of the same ground, there's going to be a lot of edits in it instead. But the bow that I have actually does about as much damage as the Ice Lance, I think, to the Seekers, which is interesting. Hello. What's your business? Now, there is another Seeker who likes to walk down the road here. I've definitely encountered him at least once. And unfortunately, because you can't really see him coming around the bend there, it is very easy to accidentally walk into him.
Nothing there. Nothing to be had there.
So what I recommend, just to play it safe, is to keep to the wall to the left. There's a high... sort of high wall here that you can grab onto. We'll hop up there. Just to make sure we don't run afoul of him. It looks like he is not here at the moment. Now here we see one of the first signs that we're on the right way, on the right path. I guess that tramp that we saw on the river only really spawns in just to let you know that you're on the right path here. This statue of Innos is defiled, as you might expect. Not every shrine in this game is defiled, but some of the weird, very off-the-path ones are. It kind of begs the question, why would they do the ones so far out of the way that people would never really reach? There's one that's in a... Ow! In a really sort of obscure area on the northwest coast. Up on a high cliff. It's the most random one. Like, why anybody would put a shrine out there when nobody would ever be out there, other than maybe a hunter. Maybe some hunter put it up just so he could offer some fine leg of venison as tribute to Innos. But I never really thought of Innos as a god of the hunt. Lizardos. Damn it! So annoying trying to switch spells after you just cast one. Oh, what am I doing? Got another dead novice here. Now there's a cave that we're about to pass. I'm pretty sure I skipped the last time we ran through here. Don't really know why. But we might as well visit it today. We don't have to go the way of the signs of Innos. So just keep to the left side of the lake here. I always kind of wish this area was used for more things. It's actually a very kind of serene location. So we look to the left here, there's what looks to be a mine of sorts. Oh god! Oh, sweet. There's that scavenger AI I always talked about. I don't know if I was ever able to demonstrate it in the past. Bogok. Whoa, whoa. I'm not sure I've ever seen a scavenger die like that.
Nothing to be had there.
Okay, so this mine here, all that's inside is goblins. I think one giant rat, yeah. And some loot. Now, I gotta admit, the doors in this cave, the first time I went through, scared the shit out of me. When I saw, I think when the name of that meat bug popped up the first time I went in here, I didn't know what it was. I just panicked that there was something immediately behind the door. Left, right, right. Left, right, right. Ooh, a hunting bow. That's kind of garbage. A lot of crates. Wonder who was smuggling stuff in here. There's also a weird grate here over this door. There's nothing inside. The grate just kind of put up needlessly. I'm not really sure why they decided to do that, considering they already collapsed that wall over there. So open this door, and beyond, we see some goblins. It's one goblin warrior, so he's a motherfucker. Take him out real quick. And the rest shall fall in short order. And this one lone goblin seems to have been delegated to guarding the chest while the others parade about the fire. Poor little guy. Decent haul of gold for so little effort. And one stone tablet. I've been stashing the stone tablets in the chest in our chambers at the monastery, just so they're not filling out my inventory. So if you wondered when I was scrolling through my inventory where the hell all those went, just keeping them in there for safekeeping, because they really start to accumulate before we ever learn to read them. Or before I ever learned to read them. If you want to learn sooner, that's your prerogative. You know you can learn it from Mixir. But, again, it's not really worth it this early in the game, because you're better off spending learning points now, and then using stuff like stone tablets and permanent potions later when the learning point cost becomes too much. Now, when I passed through here last time, I forgot we never spoke to Grimbald after dealing with a black troll. So he has a comment on that.
The black troll is dead.
He sure is.
Nicely done. I never thought those could be killed at all. I won't forget that.
Have you seen a novice pass by here?
A lot of peculiar figures passed by here today, including those two jokers up by the stone arch. A while ago, a novice from the Magicians of Fire was with them as well.
So I believe this fellow also can teach you to take crawler plates, which is not useful. Learning Bloodfly Stinger, we will actually need that. Actually, no, we won't need it. One of those kind of incidental things. I know some people really like to use, once you get that page, which I think Val pointed out is from Daramak, who is one of the dialogue lists. Oh god, I didn't mean to read it. Damn it. Damarak. Shit. Oh no, I saved there. There's a reason, I think I mentioned there's a reason I don't want to read it now. Mostly to set up a joke later. But you'll see. I was gonna say Damarak was one of the fire mages who didn't speak in Gothic 1. So, as you can imagine, these fellows are not gonna be the friendliest people. There's gonna be one real effective way to deal with them.
Who are you?
What is this? An interrogation? I have nothing to tell you, but you might want to talk to my buddy here. But be careful. He doesn't take to strangers.
Oh, doesn't he?
What are you doing here?
What's it to you?
I'm looking for a novice.
That's very interesting. We're looking for someone too.
You are?
Who would that be?
You.
What?
Cut out that magic.
I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
Oh god, it didn't get him. Dork. Okay, gotta be quick about this. So quaff the good potions. This guy froze first, so let's take him out quick. Quickly now. Last time I did this, I think I used a speed potion to try and back off quicker, just to avoid the awkwardness of the point-blank magic not connecting. No big. So these guys must have been sort of hired cutthroats from the Seekers. Either that, maybe not even hired. Maybe they were just possessed. They sure didn't act possessed. Yeah, they put a lot of random, nameless bandit-type characters on the road for this quest for no particular reason that I can tell. So to the right here is an interesting cave that would normally be a bit beyond our means right now, but I've come up with a bit of a solution. It's not really a very exciting solution, but it's more just the fact that we have spells that are kind of above average for the magic circle that we're in that make this kind of child's play. So in this cave over here, there's actually a crypt and some skeletons. The skeletons, strangely, are very vulnerable to the ice lance. I can't really explain why, but it really just tears them apart. However, there's more than just skeletons in here. And this might not be a bad idea to use the speed potion in here as well. In fact, I will. Just because we're about to use it in a minute anyway, and it lasts 5 minutes, so really beneficial. So, oh hello, other skeleton. No, not Fuego Arrow. Suppose that works. But in here are some more dangerous fellows. And the speed potion simply gives us the room to fall back, although now their pathfinding is fucked. You Dorcas. Shadow Warrior. But not a Lo Wang. So yeah, the ice block trivializes so many encounters. Oh yeah. So unfortunately, the Shadow Warriors, in spite of their epic name, don't have anything special when they die. They do carry normal two-handers and not rusty two-handers. And deceased. And here, one of the more unique items, because not only is it an awesome weapon called the Dragon Slicer, not only does it has an awesome column of light suspending it, but it actually spins in place. This is the only, like, pick-upable item in the entire game that I'm aware of that actually has a custom animation. I don't think there's anything else in the game that does more than just sit on the ground. I mean, there's some things that I think are, like, suspended on the walls, but nothing that, like, actually spins and looks epic. So Dragon Slicer is one of the better two-handed weapons in the game. There's one weapon that's, I think, does 10 points more damage. But it is a two-hander, and it does have a nice strength to damage ratio. The two-handed weapons, once they get super heavy, the scaling seems to drop off. There's usually like a 30-point separation. So, weapons get real OP later on. Okay. So, we can worry about the scavengers later. The way this is going to work is we need to be real quick. We need to have this on. There are a ton. Not really a ton, but a bunch of seekers out here. So it's helpful to just run past everything. If you want to, we're gonna actually interact with this fellow. For the XP.
You have come too late. We have destroyed the Eye of Innos, so that it can never regain its power.
Oh,
we shall now demonstrate the futility of your attempt to challenge the Master. There he is.
Whoa! If you're quick about it, you might be able to get this one out here as well. I was not quick about it. Oh no, I was. Sweet. But I did not get that one. No big. We got this. So that is why I carry at least one fire rain until this point in the game. Because this whole encounter would be way too difficult without it. Yipe! So I don't know if we got everybody out here. We got mostly everybody. So here on the altar is the Eye of Innos. The gem is dull and powerless. Damn! They destroyed it. All hope is lost. How on earth are... Oh, Dragomir's crossbow. So this is that stone circle that Dragomir told us he lost his crossbow at. And I guess it was those, goblin skeletons I encountered out here. Kind of funny that a grizzled hunter like him, although he's a very soft-spoken fellow, but a tough hunter like him was so afeared of tiny little goblin skeletons. Because we did miss that one seeker over there. Let's clear out all the trash first. No! You son of a bitch. Fucking auto-targeting. That's fine. Oh my god, focus on him, please. Focus. Oh my god. Wah! Yeah, buzz yourself over here. Oh my god, you little bastard. Gotta say, this novice really must have been very bold to try and take on the Seekers on his own. None of them have their fighting pikes. Why did they come out here unarmed? Oh, there's one more Seeker. Okay, we really didn't do as much damage as I thought. No matter. And the smack. Oh, dang. I was hoping the ice would finish him off, but it did not. Get rid of these damn things. So if you're wondering where we are in relation to the rest of the world, there's some stairs over here. They lead down to somewhere we've been before. God damn loon. Take these stairs down. Well, we can actually see the masts of the ship in the distance. Just what the unlocked view distance gets you. I will say, having ditched DX3 for OBS, frame rate is a lot better in the game. But I haven't really decided how I feel about the quality. It does almost seem a little bit worse. But I haven't really compared. There's that familiar stretched rock texture. Over here, we got the stone circle where we ran out here with Lares at one time. So that's where we are in relation to the circle of the sun. So we need to get back to the monastery. See if there's aught that can be done with this Eye of Innos. Milton, I guess we don't need to praise him of anything.
Anything's possible.
He never would have thought of that himself.
I have found the Eye of Innos. It's broken.
But that cannot be. What happened?
Some really nasty customers had it. Anyway, I came too late. They were performing a strange incantation on a crescent-shaped ritual site up in those woods.
Innos be with us. They have desecrated our circle of the sun. Even in my worst nightmares, I could never have imagined they would possess this kind of power.
What can we do now?
The enemy has become very strong. Still, this ancient artifact meant a powerful threat to him. We must heal the eye and restore its old power. But time works against us. I cannot begin to imagine what is now going to become of us all. Without the protection of the eye, we are helplessly at the mercy of the enemy. Go to Vatras, the water mage in town. In this terrible situation, only he will know what is to be done. Take the eye to him, and hurry!
What is the Circle of the Sun?
Every year, all the magicians and novices of the monastery travel to this place at the time of the solstice to mark the beginning of a new cycle. The place is filled with the immeasurable power of the sun. Never have I entertained the slightest notion that its power could be reversed. And yet, that is what happened.
So how is it filled with the power of the sun when it's completely covered in trees?
Why Vatras?
The privilege of the robe does not authorize you to question my instructions, brother. Vatras is a servant of Adenos. The knowledge of the water mages alone will bring us clarity in this dark hour. That is all you need to know.
Damn. I thought this was a place of learning, but apparently I'm not allowed to ask questions. Alright, we'll see Vatras, but first I think Zardos really should know what's going on here.
Hey, you! The Eye of Innos has been destroyed.
What are you saying? Destroyed?
I found it up in the northern forests. Unfortunately, I've only been able to salvage its fragments.
That was our only chance to stand up to those dragons, and it's gone. We have failed.
Wow, you're quitting very easily.
What now?
This is a painful blow. We have to reorient ourselves. I shall retreat and ponder the matter. In the meantime, you should go to town and talk to Vatras, the water mage. I could imagine that maybe he knows what's to be done.
You're not the first person to send us that direction. I'm sure you would not be pleased to know that you and Pyrocar are on the same wavelength.
I've got a problem with the Eye of Innos. I could use your help.
And will your problem require me to leave town?
I don't know. Possibly.
I've been waiting to be relieved for days. The other water mages should have been back in Corinus some time ago. If you see to it that at least one of them comes to take over my duties in town, I shall be free to help you solve your problem.
Duties? You just stand here screaming the same story to these idiots every day. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the really incredibly stupid way that the game draws the line and tells you that you have to complete the add-on content before we go any further. I understand, it's one of the rare video game expansions, at least at the time, that actually integrated with the main game without really much in the way of like a defined gap between it and the rest of the game. Like, you think of a game like Morrowind and how it had Tribunal and Blood Moon, where there was almost no overlap with the main world. There were occasional things that carried over, you know, there would be occasional NPCs added by it in the mainland, but mostly you just talk to an NPC and he would spirit you away to the add-on content and you would take care of all that on its own. Or I think of games like Neverwinter Nights, where the expansions were separately loaded modules that had no overlap whatsoever with the base game. This game actually has a lot of overlap. It has the bandits that all came about as a result of this. It has a lot of NPCs and new dialogues in the mainland. It has a whole other guild. It has the Ring of Water. So they had to draw a line at some point and make sure that you took care of the content. It's just so weird how on such a pivotal moment of the story where everything's so urgent and needs to happen now, that's when they make a silly excuse of, I'm too busy to help you, go solve this problem so I'm less busy. You know, now that I think about it, it's got a lot of BioWare kind of mentality behind it, where I gotta solve somebody else's petty nonsense before they can help me save the world.
I have the eye. It's broken.
What? By Innos! What have you done? We need the eye. Speak to Pyrokar. There must be a way to put it back together.
That's the most, like, helpless he's ever sounded. Normally he's such a stern, determined individual. But he sounded like a frightened child there. Well, Vatras isn't gonna help us. Maybe we can sidestep things and get the thing put back together at least. But how we're gonna re-energize it, I don't know. At any rate, they don't actually specify it, but like it's not visible here. Vatras will bring it up later that the gem has actually been removed from the amulet itself. So we can try and at least get that taken care of by talking to a smith of some kind.
Hey, you! Are you still working for the Paladins?
I finished the commission from Lord Hagen. Now I'm making magic ore blades for him. But for pay this time. But I also have the time again to make a few weapons on the side for the merchants in the marketplace. So, if you're looking for a good blade, you should try them.
Can you repair jewelry?
I'm a weaponsmith, not a goldsmith. You probably won't find anyone here in the city who can help you. People don't have much money in their pockets anymore, and nobody's gotten rich here in quite a while. Most of them are just glad if they have enough to eat.
Where can I find a goldsmith?
There's supposed to be a good smith with the mercenaries on Onar's farm. Maybe you should look there.
So how the hell would a smith on a farm be more capable of repairing jewelry than a smith in a formerly wealthy trading town? Oh well, let's head that way. We don't have a rune to get to there yet, but we can get to the tavern at least, and then hit the road. So there will be more seekers on the way here. I think there's at least 3 that appear along the roads to Onar's farm. Might as well take care of this one as we pass him. I don't think he's one of the ones that attacks you on sight. Nope. Ayo! Not a bad combo, I guess. 2 mana bars and a few good whacks. And the Seeker bites to dust. Oh, I hears you. We'll leave those goblins be for now. I ain't got time. There's a sneaker over there. That one's weird. He doesn't have his arms crossed like they usually do. Don't know what his deal is. Let's avoid him. Actually, there's 4 seekers around here. I forgot. The one we just killed. The one on that road. The one there. And I think there's another one behind the big bad rock. Plus, a couple more up the tower there. At Dexter's old camp. Which is really interesting. I think if you don't deal with Dexter until Chapter 3, the Seekers just hang out there with the rest of the bandits. It's really bizarre.
I got no time for things like that.
Hang on now, this smithy seems strangely quiet.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
What do you have to? What have you to say for yourself?
Why aren't you working?
Haven't you heard yet? The Paladins have arrested Bennett.
What?
What happened?
Well, we were in the city to shop when all of a sudden we heard a scream. Someone yelled, "There they are! Get them!" Boy, was I scared. I took to my heels and ran like the demons were after me. Bennett was right behind me. I don't know what happened, but when I got outside the city, he had disappeared. I must have lost him in the city.
So why was Bennett arrested?
Murder. Bennett is supposed to have murdered a paladin. What nonsense. I was with him the whole time.
Nonsense,
so why didn't
indeed.
you go to town and explain the whole thing?
They'd stick me in the slammer as his accomplice. Nah, certainly not in the current situation.
Situation?
You know, Onar in the city. That's bound to come to a bad end.
Indeed.
How did the mercenaries here on the farm react?
Well, I don't know exactly what they're planning, but some of them are really pissed off.
I can understand that.
If it were up to them, they'd rather attack the city today than tomorrow to get Bennett out. Talk to Lee. Maybe there's something you can do.
Perhaps. There's certainly something I need to do, because I don't really have a choice. I need Bennett. You.
I heard you know how to make armor from crawler plates.
That's right. Who'd you hear that from?
A hunter by the name of Gustav told me. Could you make me armor like that?
Sure. Bring me 10 crawler plates and I'll make you one.
How much do you want for it?
Forget it. I'll do it for nothing. For old time's sake.
Old time's sake, eh? That's like the only reference that he has to suggest that he made it for you before in the colony. I don't know why it's the entire other conversation acts like we've never heard of it before. Hey, well, there's old Gorn.
Everything all right with you?
You saved my ass, man. I'll never forget that.
Now, if you didn't actually rescue him from jail, first of all, you wouldn't get the XP. But his dialogue would actually say that Milton bailed him out. I kind of question how Milton managed to do that, considering he only had a quarter of the bail money when we asked him for it.
What do you want to do now?
I think I'll load up on grub first.
And then?
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back to the mining colony. Someone should keep an eye on the orcs. Otherwise, they'll all show up on the doorstep without warning.
I'm starting to get the feeling you just hung out in that dungeon for fun. Doesn't seem like you ever wanted to leave that place.
Ah, it's good that you've come.
What's up?
I found this in the old chapel. It's a magic rune. I think it will teleport you straight back here to the farm. I thought you might be able to use it.
You think? Well, if it doesn't do that, who knows what it might do. I forgot I never talked to him about this.
Onar now has a few sheep less thanks to Bulko.
Oh, leave me alone with that shit. I've had enough trouble as it is.
Alright, I'll leave you alone.
What about Bennett?
So you heard about that? The bastards have locked him up, just like that. As if I didn't have enough problems with my own people. Now I have to take care of the paladins too.
What will you do about Bennett?
I don't know yet. A few of the boys would like to run to the city and knock Lord Hagen's teeth down his throat. Luckily, we don't have enough people for an operation like that. And besides, it's not my style.
Are you going to stay here and see what happens then?
Certainly not. Lairs is still in the city and trying to find out how we can get Bennett out of there. Until that happens, I'm trying to calm my people. I only hope that Lairs doesn't take too long.
Can I help you in this matter with Bennett?
Sure, a bit of intelligence and sanity certainly wouldn't hurt in this matter. Innos knows there are enough idiots running around here. Go to the city and see if you can find a way to get Bennett out of there. But don't be too long about it. I don't know how much longer I can keep the men under control.
I shall do my best.
Any news about Bennett?
No, we still don't know enough.
I've come from the Valley of Mines. The castle there was attacked by dragons.
So it's true. Lairs said that rumors about dragons are circulating through the city. I didn't believe it. What about the paladins?
They've been thoroughly decimated.
Good. Maybe that will make Lord Hagen move to the Valley of Mines with his men. The fewer paladins stay here, the better.
You know, for a former general, you seem very cavalier about your apparent comrades being slaughtered. Also, I'm surprised that Gordon didn't tell you about all that. Alright, well, things are not going to be all that simple. The enemy's plans seem to have been very well engineered. Can only assume they had something to do with Bennett's arrest. Let's get back to the city. Figure out what the hell is going on.
Hey.
And I'm just doing a dance.
Any news of Bennett?
They seem to have taken him to the barracks and tossed him into the dungeon.
How can we get him out of there?
I don't have any ideas so far. I can't get to his cell to talk to him. All I can do is keep my ears open, but there isn't much to learn around here.
Alright, well, I have enough authority around here to get in there. I find it interesting that Lairs is a fairly inconspicuous fellow. Cannot convince the guard to let him in there to speak with Bennett. Yet even if we, as a mercenary, were to strut in there in our garb and everything, they would have no problem with it. Although I think the prison guard does make a comment about it if we walk in there as a mercenary. But I don't think he has anything to say if we walk in there as a mage. I wonder if Andre has anything to say at this point in the game.
What about Bennett, the blacksmith?
You mean the mercenary? He is sitting in jail where he belongs.
Can I talk to him?
Certainly. Just go in. But if you try to help him escape, you will be in for it.
In for what? Damn. My mouse sensitivity seems higher than usual lately. Well, there's old Fernando.
You're possessed.
Go away. Go already.
Apparently never saw fit to lock you up, so let me take care of that. And here's old Benet.
How come you're in the slammer?
Those swine have thrown me in the hole. I'm supposed to have murdered a paladin. But I didn't do it. They're only trying to frame me.
Why would they do that?
How would I know? You've got to get me out of here. Talk to Lord Hagen. Tear down the wall. Who cares? Just do something.
What happened?
I went downtown with Hodges to buy some supplies for our boys. Suddenly, we heard a loud scream and the sound of running feet.
Get to the point.
We knew at once that something had happened and that they would grab us at once if they saw us there. We ran like hell. Then, just before we got to the city gate, I tripped and sprained my ankle. The rest is soon told. The militia was on me at once, and they threw me straight into this hole.
Who was murdered?
I have no idea. One of the paladins. I don't know them.
Have you got a name?
Some Lothar, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure. You had better ask Lord Hagen. He knows all the details.
Oh, Lothar.
Do they have any evidence against you?
They say they have a witness who recognized me.
Well, do you know who the witness is?
No, all I know is that he's lying.
Who's leading the investigation?
Lord Hagen himself. Since the victim was one of the paladins, this falls under martial law.
What does that mean?
That's easy to guess. If I don't get out of here, they're going to let me swing without further ado. You've got to help me or there'll be a war. Lee's not going to take this lying down. You can figure out for yourself what that means.
Can you repair jewelry?
That depends. You would have to show me the piece. Also, I need to get out of here first. Before that, I can't do a thing, obviously.
Well, you tell me you can't just press it with your hands?
Can you have a look at this amulet?
Sure, let me see. That is a beautiful piece of work. The setting is shot. I think I can fix it, though.
How long will it take you?
Well, I'm stuck here for now. Or do you see a forge in this place? If I were in my smithy, I could do it all in one day, but of course, first I'll need to get out of here.
Well, you know, even if we exonerated you in your murder case, you're still a mercenary, and I'm pretty sure that's still illegal. I'm kind of wondering what they were doing in town trying to get supplies, considering Onar's kind of got a chokehold on most of the supplies that used to come to the city. Because, well, he's got a lot of the farms under his thumb. So what supplies were they getting, I wonder?
And Innos, in his wisdom, did so.
Apologies in advance. I can tell this is already going to be a long episode. We're running several minutes longer than we usually do. But I simply have to make sure that all this is wrapped up before we move on to the water mage business. And this is the last thing we got to do. Now, I think I mentioned I was going to do a separate episode covering both the militia and the mercenary side of things when you get back from the valley, because they each have some slight differences to how some of these things work, and a handful of additional quests and nuances to things. So I'm simply going to show that in one episode. There's not enough to make an episode apiece for them, but I think there'll be enough to make a single episode to cover them both.
I need to talk to you about Bennett.
But that's the mercenary who murdered one of my men.
How come you're so sure that Bennett is the killer?
We have a witness. As you can see, there is no doubt about the mercenary's guilt.
Who is that witness?
Cornelius, the governor's secretary, saw the murder. His description fits Bennett, no doubt about that. As far as I am concerned, that settles the matter. The mercenary will hang for treason.
Treason? I think it's done more than treason by your accusations.
I believe that Bennett is innocent.
The evidence is clear. He is guilty.
So what if the proof is wrong?
Be careful what you say. You raise some serious accusations. If you cannot present me with evidence that the witness lied, then you had best hold your tongue.
You question my wisdom and authority? Oh, man. So, Corndoggius, governor's secretary. I'm gonna have to interrogate you. I haven't spoken to this guy at all. I actually kind of regret that. I'm sure he has some kind of meaningless dialogue if we encountered him before this point, but I've never spoken to him.
You saw the murder of Lothar, didn't you?
I need not answer any questions about a current investigation. Lord Hagen already has everything I know on record.
What was it you saw?
Really, I haven't got any time now. You need to go now. The office is closing.
No, it isn't. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Enough of that. What did you see?
I saw how the mercenary struck down the paladin from behind, and then he took his sword and rammed it through his chest.
Are you completely sure?
Yes, of course. I saw it with my own eyes. But I really haven't got any time now. There's a huge pile of paperwork I need to do.
What is it gonna be? Your plea deal?
I don't believe you.
So what? What are you going to do about it?
You hold your life dear, don't you?
If you attack me, they'll hang you. I have powerful friends. So don't you dare lay a finger on me. Now, get out of here, or I'll call the guards.
Oh, I am the law.
I don't believe you. They could make you talk in the monastery.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we have ways to bring out the truth. Painful ways.
No, please don't. I'll tell you everything you want.
Oh, that caved in pretty easily.
So what really happened?
I didn't see what happened. I received some gold for blaming that mercenary. In times like these, it's everyone for himself. I needed that money.
Who paid you?
That's enough. He'll kill me if I rat him out.
Are you going to tell that to Lord Hagen too?
I'm not a lunatic. I can't stay in town now. I'll give you my diary. That should be proof enough.
Should it? Well, off he goes. Shame we can't raise the alarm. So he hightails it out of here, and if you were so inclined, you could try and chase him down. I actually recommend strafing, since I feel like you move a little bit faster. But if you do decide to chase him out of town, just be aware, he runs a cropper of the two seekers on the road there. And they aren't too pleased on the fact that he exposed their dirty little secret. And of course, once they make a toasty corn dog out of him, they're going to turn their attention on you if you stand too close. But I'm going to let him go, and I'll show you where he ends up a little bit later. But let's take a look at this book of his. If Valerius keeps on like that, I'm going to look for another position. Ha! Like there's a better position for you in this town. Something strange happened last night. I was visited in my house by one of those guys in black hoods we hear so much about lately. Wasn't really nervous, even though they're supposed to be so evil. You can almost feel the power that these men have. But the voice was calm and kind of made you want to trust the guy. He offered me 20,000 gold pieces to make sure that one of the mercenaries gets convicted. He'd say I'd know what he meant when it happened. Of course, I agreed right away. Those mercenaries don't deserve any better anyway. If it weren't for them, everything would be just fine for me here. The gold will let me settle down to a comfortable retirement. It's happened. They've arrested one of those mercenaries. Should be easy to keep my word. Funny. How often these cases are resolved by somebody simply writing down all the incriminating details, as if they need to remind themselves of their guilt.
Cornelius lied.
How did you know that?
Here, I've got his diary. Everything's in there.
That slimy little criminal! In view of the new evidence, there is nothing else I can do. By virtue of the office granted me by king and church, I declare that the prisoner Bennett is exonerated of all charges and is thereby a free man. Cornelius is to be taken into immediate custody for perjury.
He's made himself scarce.
Sooner or later he will turn up, then we shall arrest him.
If you say so. So key point, if you're playing as a paladin, this is actually the quest that you need to take care of in order to join the paladins. If you're playing as a mercenary, militia that is. Because I got that wrong twice. So the whole Valley of Mines thing does not qualify. But this is a quest that we need to do no matter which guild we join.
It was just like you said.
But what's important is that
I'm no better off myself.
Bennett is free, and he's actually not going to be in the jail. He's already back at the farm. So let's make our way there.
It's a bad business.
Whoosh. Check in with Lee first. I can see old Benet dipping his blade in a bucket over there.
You entered the monastery?
You just noticed?
I expected anything but that. You can't become a mercenary anymore now, but who knows, maybe you can do one or two things for me. Or me for you. We'll see. In any case, I wish you all the best. But don't even think of pulling the wool over my eyes, got it?
And just because I joined the church doesn't mean I'm a sleazy, backstabbing bastard, alright?
Any news about Bennett?
At least he doesn't seem to have suffered any lasting damage in jail. Good work.
Thanks. That's the only kind of work I do. Unless you ask any of my coworkers.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I'm not touching that.
Alright, dude.
Man, and here I was thinking they'd really hang me.
Well, it worked all right in the end.
Hang me, oh, hang me.
You should have seen the face of the soldier when he had to let me out. He was so scared, he almost did it in his pants. Which reminds me, I've got something for you.
What do you mean?
A present.
A present?
What present?
We have heard of the dragons that are said to be in the valley.
They're really there.
All right, I believe you. Anyway, I thought you would surely want to participate in the upcoming dragon hunt.
And?
Here, take this amulet. I think you'll need it more than I do.
Who the hell's organizing a dragon hunt? But speaking of amulets...
Here's the amulet. Please repair it for me.
All right. I'll have finished the new setting by tomorrow. You can come to me and get it then.
Well, I'm not going to be back that soon because while you're working on that, we got other business to do. In another part of the world.
No idea. You tell me.
This amulet he gave us is an amulet of life, so a decent hit point bonus, but not enough to justify losing that 20 mana. Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm mistaken. I thought we were already at 120, but I forgot I had the amulet on, so I think once we get past 120 mana, that's when it starts costing 4 points of learning for every point of mana. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today. Quite a long episode. I hope you appreciate it. But just want to make sure we got everything wrapped up before we move on to enter the portal that we opened with the water mages last time. Now, just in advance, wanted to remind you that in order to get this Iceland spell, I had to go through the portal because the water mages are the only ones who can teach it to you, and they only teach you on the other side of the portal. So, the start of the episode where we go through the portal will actually be pre-recorded. I'm just going to post-commentate over it. It won't be that long. It's only like 5 minutes, maybe. So the rest of the video after that will be live. I just wanted to give you a heads up, because it might be a bit of a jarring change of pace. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on the Twitch for live stream nonsense. Links in the description also for Discord and Twitter if you want to hang out there and whatever the hell goes on. Otherwise, don't forget to wash your hands, stay safe, stay healthy. Wish you all the best, and we will see you next time.
That's not what I heard. No, he insisted he really didn't deserve that.
I couldn't care less.
All that matters is strength. There's nothing you can do about it.
He really didn't deserve that. Tell me that isn't true.
Nobody will learn anything.